Welcome back to Liv&Spice. Today we're making New York style donuts. So the first thing that you need is you're going to need a KitchenAid with a dough hook attachment. You're going to need a bowl. You're going to need a round cylinder cutter with a middle to cut the insides out. You're going to need a rolling pin, a thermometer, 4 1/4 cups of flour. This is all-purpose flour. We're going to do milk, 2 eggs, salt, 1/2 cup of flour set to the side. You're going to need yeast, and you're going to need salt. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to heat the milk over the stove to about 90 degrees, and that's why we need the thermometer. So I'm going to go ahead and take you guys over to the stove. And we just want to get it to about 90 degrees. Okay, good. We're going to turn it off now. And then what we'll do is we're going to take our milk. Okay, so go ahead and pour in your milk. And then you're going to take your yeast. Get that mixed in. And then set your timer for 5 minutes so this gets nice and bubbly. So if you see after 5 minutes our yeast with our warm milk, we have some bubble action going there. We're now going to take it and we're going to load it up onto our KitchenAid. Just make sure it's very secure. And to that we're going to add in our butter. We're going to add in our salt. Okay, so we added in our butter. This is our sugar. We're going to add in 2 of our eggs. Then we're going to fit it with our dough hook. Okay, make sure that's nice and tight. Okay, and we'll go ahead and turn it on. And we're going to slowly start adding in our flour. It needs to be soft and springy. Probably gonna let it run for like 1 to 2 more minutes. And then we're going to oil our bowl and then we're gonna proof it in the oven, and I'll show you how we're gonna do that. Okay, so we're gonna take off our dough hook. It's kind of hard because the dough's in the way, so you might have to move the dough out of the way. Make it a little easier on you. We'll go put this to the side. There we go. Okay. So we have this nice dough, donut dough. So we're gonna put some oil, a neutral oil in here. Make sure that's covered the whole bowl. Take a paper towel. And really rub the sides here. Alright, we're going to put this baby here. We're going to cover it with a little bit of oil. And then I'm going to show you how we're going to proof it in the oven. Cover with a cloth. So what you want to do, if you don't have a proofing box, or your kitchen isn't warm enough, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take a pot of water, bring it to a boil. We're gonna place it in the oven while the oven is off, and we're gonna create this steamy, warm, humid condition inside of the oven at least for an hour for our dough to rise, and then we can roll out our dough and then we can make our donuts. Okay, so now that our water is at a nice rolling boil, we're gonna turn it off, open up our oven where I've already put our donut dough, and make sure you be very safe when you're transferring this from the stovetop to the oven. I took out that bottom rack and I'm gonna slide this underneath like so, just to create nice humid conditions, and we're gonna let it proof for about an hour, and we'll close this up and we'll set our timer, and I'll see you back in an hour. We're gonna open up the oven, and it has a very humid condition here, and see how it's doubled in size? That's what you want. So we're gonna take this bad boy out, close this, and then you're gonna make sure you dump this onto a really well floured surface. Perfect. All that donut dough out there. And you wanna be very careful not to overwork this dough. We're gonna go ahead and cut it in half. I'm gonna stick this part here. Okay, so we have our rolling pin nice and floured, and you're gonna make sure that you roll it out. You don't want it to be too thin, you just want it to be even all the way around. Okay, I think that's good enough. And then what we'll do is we'll move this guy back here, and I'm gonna cover it with the bowl so it stays nice and steamy. Move that to the side. So you're going to take your little donut cutter, and then you take the middle. You have a little donut hole. Put that to the side. Or re-roll that. This one's a little stuck. It's okay, that's not a bad thing. Be very careful not to overwork your dough. You don't want it to be tough, you want it to be nice and soft, malleable. See if we can get one more out of this guy. I'm gonna set these little scraps to the side and cover it. And then I'm gonna work on my next set of dough. Okay, so now that we have our cutouts of our donuts, we're gonna cover again and place this back into the oven to proof for about 45 minutes. Okay, so now that we've let it proof for 45 minutes, we're gonna take it out. And look how big they are. So compared to the ones that we cut earlier, those are huge. All right, so we're gonna start frying. So we're gonna bring this over here. Okay, so first we're gonna fry our donut holes, just to kind of test the oil a little bit. And when you're dropping stuff into oil, you want to push it away from you. You don't want to drop it towards you. You don't want oil splashing you in the face. And so they're floating to the top. I want them to get a gold brown color all the way around, so I'm going to push them down. I'm just going to rotate around and push all these little guys down. This one out, shake off the excess oil, we're gonna dump it into a cinnamon and sugar mixture like so. And you're just going to toss it. Oops. There you go. And it's gonna be super hot, so you just put it off to the side like so. If your oil gets too greasy, just go ahead and start over. Just put some cinnamon and sugar in a bowl and mix it. And it will be great. It will turn out really nice. Now we'll go ahead and lay in our donuts. We're gonna start with one donut for now. You probably could cook probably 2 or 3 donuts depending on their size, but you don't want to put too many because you're going to lower the temp of the oil. So just keep that in mind. You want it to be 375 degrees. When you fry, if you have a fryer or if you are working off of the stove top, just make sure you use a thermometer to check the temperature of your oil before you start frying. You don't want to fry in cold oil. So here you have it, the New York style donuts. We did cinnamon and sugar, and then we also did a glaze with candy walnuts. And I'll try one for you today.
You're gonna really like this one a lot.